Right now this morning, scam complaints are down, but job offer scams are on the rise. We'll show you how to spot these growing threats and feeding hope, how one local pantry is battling hunger in our community. The story of Wafer coming up in this week's Foodie Friday.
Well, plus we're looking at the possibility of partly to mostly cloudy skies today. It'll be drier, then rainfall potential coming in with a 40% chance of showers. And then this weekend looks pretty mild, going to warm with more showers on the way. I'll have more about this.
Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us for News 8 Now this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Friday, September 13th. Gonna need like the summer clothes today again, right? We're gonna have to start cutting the sleeves off your suit. Get you ready for this heat that won't go away.
Yeah, we'll get into it. It's going to be summer for the remainder of the next 8 days as we get into it. Hey, we're starting out again with a little bit of humidity slowly starting to track our way. It's not here just yet, but we'll get into it as we get into tomorrow, possibly going into Sunday. Right now, all that drier air well down to the south, and there's the remnants of Francine slowly but surely trying to work its way up through Iowa and then heading closer to us. That being said, you get a gander of where it is by Little Rock, continuing to swirl all that moisture about. Then eventually, as we go right into Saturday, more of that moisture plume will continue to lift up. We're also looking at some more moisture coming in out of an area just out of the northern plains as well, and that also will see some rainfall possibly coming up from the south as well going into tomorrow. That being said, we've got visibility issues right now, patchy to dense fog out there. We may pick up a little bit of that fog as we did yesterday in our river valley, so please take care with that. Eau Claire, you're looking at least partly cloudy skies to get through the morning hours. Then by the afternoon, we're going to gradually put you into mostly cloudy skies. La Crosse is going to do the same thing. We'll go into mostly cloudy skies by the noon hour, about 81 degrees expected in the early afternoon. Kids going to school, you're looking at 57 in Eau Claire today, 83 once you get home with increasing clouds, and back to La Crosse, you're looking at pretty much 59 to 86 degrees for this afternoon. Have a great day.
Breaking overnight, about 33,000 Boeing workers are now on strike after overwhelmingly voting down a proposed contract. The strike affects workers at facilities in multiple states. The rejected contract listed at 25% raise out over 4 years. Boeing says that is its largest ever general wage increase, but many workers say it's just not enough.
We have members that are still living in their cars at maxed out pay because they cannot afford to live in this state and work at this company.
Analysts say the Boeing strike is unlikely to impact consumer travel since most aircraft have already been delivered. But this could impact the economy because the strike will cause a delay in new deliveries to customers. To the campaign trail now, the two presidential candidates are on opposite sides of the country today in swing states with just 53 days to go now till Election Day. Vice President Kamala Harris has called for another debate before then, but former President Trump says there will be no more debates. CBS's Jared Hill has more.
In battleground North Carolina Thursday, Vice President Kamala Harris pushed for another head-to-head with former President Donald Trump.
We owe it to the voters to have another debate. This election and what is at stake could not be more important.
But on stage in Arizona, the former president told supporters he's done.
So because we've done 2 debates and because they were successful, there will be no third debate.
A third counting his first with President Biden. On social media, the former president declared Harris the loser in Tuesday's matchup, but even some people attending his rally expressed reservations.
Trump could have done a better job. She got underneath his skin.
Speaking in Tucson, Trump also unveiled a new proposal to end tax on overtime pay, with no details on how he'd finance it. He also repeated a false claim about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio.
They take in the geese. You know where the geese are? In the park, in the lake. And even walking off with their pets.
Trump even sharing these AI images on social media. Meanwhile, Springfield City Hall was evacuated Thursday after a bomb threat that was sent to multiple agencies and even schools. The city's mayor told a local newspaper Haitian migrants were mentioned in the complaint.
Today, both candidates are back on the campaign trail, and Tim Walz is campaigning in Michigan. Then he'll make a stop in Wausau. La Crosse, meanwhile, digging deep into its emergency funds to tackle park safety and cleanup. The Common Council has greenlit $270,000 from the city's contingency fund for two major initiatives. A unanimous vote approved $75 grand to clear a staggering 44 tons of garbage from that Marsh homeless encampment. The council then split 9-3 on a $195,000 measure for increased security at Cameron and Burns parks. This extends patrol through December and also adds weekday officers. While supporting the Parks Department, some council members cautioned that this spending won't solve the underlying homelessness crisis in the city. Vernon County is taking action to address flood risks, and they need your help. The county is forming a new flood mitigation committee. They're looking for 3 dedicated volunteers. You'll work directly with landowners and conservation groups to develop strategies that can help reduce flooding in our area. If you're interested in lending your expertise or you just want to learn more, you can check out our website for details. UWL students are getting an eye-opening welcome back to campus. A 20-foot inflatable IUD named Frida Womb is making waves as part of the IUD Express Tour. There it is. This is by Americans for Contraception. The oversized display aims to spark conversation about reproductive rights and access to contraception.
Well, we've already had a few people coming up to us being like, is that a giant inflatable IUD on campus? Like, what the heck is going on? But basically, it's just a really great way of getting people to come to us, just spreading the word that we're here.
Frida Womb has become a well-known symbol of contraceptive rights after recently being featured on multiple late-night shows. UWL's Prairie Springs Science Center is poised for a major transformation years after opening its doors. The Hub for Science and Health students is entering phase 2 of an ambitious project. News 8 Now's Michael Germain spoke with UWL officials about what's next for the evolving campus landmark.
It's all part of a 2-phase project. Phase 1 saw the completion of the Prairie Springs Science Center, while phase 2 will focus on transforming Cowley Hall. The chair of the biology department at UWL says Cowley Hall has truly served its purpose, but now it's time for a bigger vision.
There were people that were running their research spaces out of a closet. We were sharing 3 people to a room the size of these couple of couches.
Now, officials are planning ahead. Phase 2 of the project will demolish Cowley Hall and construct a new facility connected to the Prairie Springs Science Center. Jacqueline Wazinski, an associate professor in UWL's biology department, says the lab experience has been revitalized thanks to the new building, but other areas are still in need of updates.
What's falling behind now is the lecture component, and we know that students learn best in an active environment. We need students to talk to each other and collaborate.
She says in this new space, UWL will have active teaching classrooms,
which allow for really our classrooms to be more student focused. The students lead the discussion.
Reporting in La Crosse, Michael Germain, News 8 Now this morning.
As for when the second half of the project will begin, that's still up in the air. Officials are still waiting to receive approval from the legislature to fund it. If you need to get around Eau Claire tomorrow, leave your car at home. The city's transit system is offering free bus rides all day. All 17 bus routes will be free from 8 to 5 during the Fall Festival. If you're new to public transit, you can stop by Lake and South Barstow streets between 10 and 4 for a crash course on how to ride the bus. Officials say it's a perfect chance to try out Eau Claire's public transportation. And get ready for a weekend packed with fall fun across the Coulee region and Chippewa Valley. Bring the whole family out to the Toma Neighborhood Block Party today and tomorrow. Get cheesy at the Mac and Cheese Fest, check out the Kid and Adult Farmer Olympics events, and party to Carlos Danger live. And get up, stand up, and throw your hands up at Gavin DeGraw's concert tomorrow with guest Caleb Hearn. Jam out when the show starts at 7:30. Celebrate the coming of autumn at the Eau Claire Fall Festival Saturday. Test your aim at the Charity Dunk Tank. Check out the Upcycle Fashion Show and jam out to the Woodland Spring. The time now is 6:09. Still ahead on your morning news. Aldi is raising its starting pay for employees. A judge rules that Call Sheet can offer betting on the upcoming election. And prices at the pump are down 6 cents a gallon since just last week. A recent report shows overall scam complaints are falling, but one type of scam is on the rise. Coming up, more on job offer scams and how to spot them. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Two tiny tigers, they don't look that tiny, do they? They're stealing hearts at the Minnesota Zoo. Andre and Amalia are rare Amur tiger cubs. They just made their public debut. These siblings will stay with their mom for about 18 months before Andre moves to his own space, just like they do in the wild. Amalia might stick around with mom a little bit longer. In 2 years, they could be off to start families of their own at other zoos. With only about 500 of their kind left in the wild, these cubs are more than just cute. They're a beacon of hope for their species. And as you start to wake up this morning, leaving you with a quick wake-up call with the campaign swing state of Arizona. This is a live look at Phoenix. Just hours ago, former President Trump spoke from Tucson, saying he would not partake in a third presidential debate. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is coming up.
This is my grandma Kim. She has a lot to say about Eric Hovde.
Mr. Fancy, California banker, said he'd absolutely cut Social Security and raise the retirement age.
Hovde suggested that most seniors shouldn't vote.
If you're in a nursing home, you only have 5-6 month life expectancy. Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
In Wisconsin, we have a word for guys like him.
DSCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere. It's Chevy truck season. Get 1.9% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Visit hometownchevy.com.
It's a lot quieter around here than it used to be. I'm Rebecca Cook. When I was growing up, this farm was bustling. Holsteins, hired hands, harvesting crops. But big corporations put family farms like mine out of business. And what has Derek Van Orden done? Nothing. Tax cuts for big ag, rising healthcare costs, undermining our democracy, extremism. We need real working people in Washington. And that's why I approve this message.
Is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
no, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Friday the 13th, 13 hours only, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. 13 of the hottest deals, like Lay's chips and fresh ground chuck. 13 deals that are hotter than hot, including items for under $1. Save big on these 13 deals and more, in-store and online. Friday the 13th for 13 hours, only at Hy-Vee.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Eric Hovde insulted Wisconsin seniors.
Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
What a jerk. He attacked those who are overweight.
Fine, you want to do that? Your health care is going to cost more.
How insulting is that?
He called farmers lazy.
Look at the old physical toil. Now you're largely driving around a tractor.
This guy doesn't have a clue.
Eric Hovde has insulted just about everyone.
What's wrong with this guy?
Well, good morning to you. Looking at warmer conditions today yet again. We'll hold on to conditions to be like this. We'll increase the clouds as we go through the day. We'll see partly cloudy skies this morning, becoming mostly cloudy for the afternoon. Taking it right into Saturday, though, there's some showers coming in overnight, and then we've got about a 40% chance of showers coming in tonight. And then on tomorrow, we're looking at least a 30% chance of showers. So it's not a gully washer by any means. Take a look here what I've got going on for you. Not much happening on the radar right now until you get down to Mason City and down by Decorah, picking up a little of that light rainfall right now. And in fact, we'll keep an eye on that. Then you can see clouds as you look at the clouds and the wind speed here. You're looking at clouds already starting to sneak in. This is from remnants of Francine that'll eventually start to push more clouds in our way. Then the humidity will eventually start to sneak in as well. Currently, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 50s. We have some 60s in there at La Crosse right now, down to at least 58 by Boscobel. Prairie du Chien holding on to at least about 57 degrees. Dew points, though, dew points are already in the 50s widespread, and then we'll take it into Eau Claire, showing that we'll increase the clouds going into the 8 o'clock hour now, holding on to mostly cloudy skies, and then we'll see that for the better part of the day. Well, for La Crosse, we'll do the same now. The models are starting to catch up with what's happening out there. You're seeing mostly cloudy skies for the better part of the morning and into the afternoon, and eventually the highs you can see is get into 83 to about 86 degrees. We'll hold on to dry conditions and warm conditions as well, as I've mentioned. The rain tracker, as you take a gander here, going right into how this all looks from Saturday, going into overnight into Saturday morning, most of it to our west, and then eventually we'll get into the 9 o'clock hour with more rainfall on the way. When I come back, I'll give you more of this, and of course, an hour by hour to how this all plays out for your forecast today. Back to you.
In your consumer news this morning, grocery chain Aldi is raising its starting pay for employees. Aldi says the new starting wage will be $18 an hour for workers in their stores and $23 an hour for warehouse workers. Employees who work at least 30 hours a week will also have access to health insurance and paid time off. Aldi is in the midst of a hiring surge amid continued growth. It says it's looking to hire more than 13,000 employees for new store openings and to prepare for the upcoming holiday season. A federal judge says the prediction market Kalshi can offer betting on the upcoming election. A federal watchdog was working to keep that from happening, but ultimately a D.C. Circuit judge sided with Kalshi in its dispute with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Kalshi launched congressional control contracts Thursday, which allows Americans to place bets on which party will be in control of the House and Senate in 2025. The CFTC believes these wagers are illegal and could harm the integrity of elections. They appealed Thursday's decision shortly after it was issued. Prices at the pump are falling. They're down 6 cents a gallon since just last week. The national average for a gallon of gas is now $3.24. AAA says some states are even lower at under $3 a gallon. The national average has not hit that level since May of 2021. Falling oil costs have helped ease pain at the pump as well as low demand. If you're an EV driver, the national cost for charging has increased by a penny. A recent report shows overall scam complaints are falling, but one type of scam is on the rise. Christine Lazar explains.
Earlier this year, Susan Tompour received a text that sounded appealing. The person claimed to be a recruiter from a major employment site and was ready to offer her a work-from-home position that paid up to $1,000 a day.
When you get a text, somebody offering you a job, you feel like, oh, somebody likes you, somebody likes your work, they've noticed your talent.
However, Susan is a journalist at the Detroit Free Press and knew instantly the job offer was a scam. One major giveaway, the sender wanted to talk on the encrypted messaging platform, WhatsApp.
Everyday recruiters are not going to talk to you by an app. They aren't using messaging apps, where they can do some hiding. They're not going on Telegram or WhatsApp or Google Chat.
One of our biggest concerns is job scams.
Eva Velasquez is the CEO of the Identity Theft Resource Center and says reports of job scams to their organization have jumped 118% in 2023. And con artists are not only sending texts, they also post fake jobs on legitimate employment sites.
AI is a contributing factor because it's allowed the bad actors to refine their pitch to make it sound so much more legitimate.
The con often happens when a victim is told to fill out an application.
When applications are asking for things like your social security number, your bank account information, your passport or driver's license information, that's a huge red flag.
I know that the scammers, these are elaborate crime networks.
And to avoid those criminals, Susan followed the advice many experts recommend. Think twice before accepting an offer, especially if it sounds too good to be true.
That's it for your morning consumer news. Time now is 6:19. Let's check in with Art for a look at our forecast.
All right, Alexandra, as we get into it, there's a view here. Absolutely gorgeous right now, starting out this early morning. Yesterday, maybe we had all that smoke and haze out there. And in fact, you're going to see maybe a little fog out there in the river valleys, kind of picking that up out in the distance. That being said, take a gander. This is Francine, the remnants of Francine now continuing on, just circling over Arkansas. And it's putting more of that moisture and cloud cover up into our vicinity. Eventually, the moisture will start to move in as we go through Saturday going into Sunday with some of that humidity kind of coming in. Not a whole lot, so it's going to keep us at least in the 80s as we finish out the next few days as high pressure continues to build over us as well. And that's going to sit with us for a while, slowly but surely kind of ticking over to the east gradually through the remainder of the week. That being said, you're going to be seeing more of these clouds kind of billowing up on us, coming up from the south, and eventually moisture is going to start to sneak in with that as well, coming up off of the Gulf. And you can see some of that right there from Mason City, picking up more of that moisture going into the 5 o'clock hour for tomorrow. You see it by Decorah, Preston, and then Rochester, Winona, then slowly but surely maybe kind of getting closer to La Crosse by the 7 o'clock hour going to sunrise. Then it streams up northward straight up of the Mississippi, and that continues to straddle that for the better part of the afternoon going into the evening hours. What we're looking at here as we go into the day for Saturday, you're picking up that nice rainfall as I showed you all the way into the 1 o'clock hour now, and extending out. You can slowly see it kind of move over to the east a bit, but the bulk of that moisture is still pretty much over the Mississippi River, and so we're going to get maybe out of that. You're looking at La Crosse, maybe 17th of an inch there, 1700ths of an inch there, possibly continuing on. You'll be picking up more of that going into the Sunday time frame as well, where you have about a 20% chance of rain. So we're looking at maybe near well, 3/10 of an inch possibly for us. The zones are going to take you into at least some 80s. You'll see some locations will be dry today, holding on to dry conditions. We'll see that rain coming in later on tonight, and then you'll see most of these temperatures widespread in the 80s still, just a couple of degrees cooler than what we had yesterday. No big deal. And then we'll get back into slowly but surely cooler conditions going into tomorrow. We're looking at temperatures around about 81 for us here, and we'll see some 70s also up to the north. We get into Sunday, you're looking at more sunshine on the way, 20% chance of rainfall. We'll take that 86-degree mark and carry it over into Monday as well with a 20% chance of rainfall. And we'll slide into the next 8 days, keeping those 80s across the board. You'll see that all the way in, with Tuesday being one of the warmest days, up to 87 degrees. A whole lot of sunshine with mostly sunny skies. That'll carry over into Wednesday, and then more rain chances come in for a 20% chance for Thursday and a 30% chance on Friday. That could be a storm or two. Back to you.
The heat is staying on. All right, Art, thank you. Time now is 6:22. Still ahead on your morning news. An Eagles fan's game-changing medical play. 18-year-old Austin Lewis has never touched a football, but a new treatment could change everything, from constant pain to potential cure. How one teen's journey could help thousands.
Coming up in the Blitz, a pair of unbeatens matched up on the soccer field yesterday, plus a battle for positioning in the MVC on the volleyball court. All those highlights and more in a bit.
The liberal elite in Washington are running one of their own here in Wisconsin. A political insider who worked to elect liberals in California even supported a dark money group focused on defunding the police. Her name, Rebecca Cook, political operative bankrolled by the liberal elite. They handpicked her to help win back the House, trusted to elect liberal heroes like Mandela Barnes. They trust her because Rebecca Cook is one of them.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Get an 11% rebate from Menards. Update your home's exterior with Cedar Creek vinyl siding. This easy-to-install, low-maintenance siding withstands the elements and is available in 16 color options. Get the last roof you'll ever need with Steel Roofing. It offers superior wind and hail resistance and is available in cut-to-your-length panels. Get an 11% rebate on everything right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Tammy Baldwin on transparency.
I don't think there should be two sets of rules, one for the wealthy and one for the rest of us.
12 years later, Baldwin pushed for conflict of interest regulations, but exempted herself. And Baldwin won't disclose any shared assets she has with her partner, despite the potential for conflict of interest. Tell Tammy Baldwin, we deserve the truth. Wisconsin Principals is responsible for the content of this advertising.
To everyone out there who loves Culver's,
the feeling is mutual. Everything's made fresh.
Everything. Everything.
It's our pleasure.
This is me and my happy place.
I wouldn't trade our Culver's for any other restaurant. Culver's. Yay! We love our guests.
love.
Love.
As much as our guests love us.
This is me and my happy place.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
I want to turn to the issue of abortion.
For 52 years, they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it.
I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Welcome to the Blitz. A good batch of action yesterday. On the north side, Logan was hosting Tomah as both teams were looking to make up some ground in volleyball conference play. Rangers looking for their first MVC win. Tomah hoping for a happy bus ride home. First set action, a perfect bump, set, and spike, which is going to be sent down courtesy of sophomore Lily Detweiler. On the away side, finding some offense in different ways. Lily Noth is going to sneak one over the net, catching the Logan defense sleeping for the point. The set started out with each team making a run or two, and it got tight. When the Timberwolves needed a point, they went to Maddie Mraz. And then with the match tied at 21, the defense from Logan somehow finds a way to keep the ball up, and they end up with the point. Home side fired up, but Mraz was just too good in the set, and on the day, she gets the ace here to send her side to a 28-26 set win, and Tomah would sweep the Rangers in 3. It was a big matchup in NBC soccer action yesterday. Arcadia and Holman both yet to lose a match this season entering the contest. Let's check out the action for the important early season matchup. Holman will start off hot as Andrew Ripp is going to send one down to the inside, and Braylon Welch will put it home to make score 1-0. Later on, Welch getting it again and sneaks it past the goalkeeper as he would put his squad up 2-0. And Arcadia trying to stay in it after good passing from Holman. It's the keeper, Will Cruz Lopez, getting the save to keep this one close for the moment being. But Welch had himself a day. He lifts this one up and over Cruz Lopez, and it bounces home to record the hat trick. Vikings win this one big over the Raiders, 8-0 the final in favor of the home side. GET hosted 15 teams at Ettrick Golf Club for their cross-country invite. Girls up first, braving the heat. This race was all Addie Dwellman of Cochrane Fountain City. Great pace for her the whole time. Not far behind, Taylor Silla of Independence Gilmanton and Anna Frank of Bangor battling for second place. And there you see the host Red Hawk girls moving together in a pack. In the end, it was the Pirates' Dwellman finishing with a time of 19:21. Silla finished second at 19:48, and Frank rounding out the top three, finishing at 20:24. Cochrane Fountain City finishing first as a team. And some technical difficulties made it so we couldn't show you the boys' race, but take our word for these results. A big day for the Mauston team. Their top 5 runners finished first, second, 5th, 6th, and 8th. Josh Ellerman finishes at 17:02. Breck Peterson with a time of 17:48, and Andy Monroy Ramirez of Arcadia takes third at 18:13. GT finishes second in the team standings. And on the football field in Baraboo, the Holman Vikings extending their win streak to 3 games in a row behind a big performance on both sides of the ball, especially 329 yards rushing on 43 attempts. Who says you need to pass the ball to win? That's what I call dominating the line of scrimmage. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
It's a free ride.
But I already paid.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished? There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Arby's is full of choices. Quick, you can get your favorite stuff. 3 for $5. Incredible value for limited time. Reach in and eat whatever you grab. Arby's, we have the meats.
If you want selection, then that's what we've got at King Furniture. More mattresses. Did you know you spend a third of your life sleeping? So you better have the best mattress you possibly can. And we have those here at King Furniture with a huge selection to choose from in every price range. Lay down and relax. Take the time to find the exact mattress you want because you're going to be sleeping on this for a while.
King Furniture.
Nice people, nice furniture.
The liberal elite in Washington are running one of their own here in Wisconsin. A political insider who worked to elect liberals in California even supported a dark money group focused on defunding the police. Her name, Rebecca Cook, political operative bankrolled by the liberal elite. They handpicked her to help win back the House, trusted to elect liberal heroes like Mandela Barnes. They trust her because Rebecca Cook is one of them.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
At Overhead Door Company, we repair any garage door and only install the best. Serving up to 100 miles outside of the Onalaska, Wisconsin area. When you need a door company you can trust with your life, call Overhead Door Company of the Seven Rivers region.
Darling, I believe everything's gonna be alright. No need to worry because you got somebody on your side. We all need a fam, we all need a crew. When you're in a jam, don't know what to do. Just reach out your hand and we'll see you through. Doesn't matter where you're at, we got your back.
With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for.
No doubt about that. We got your back.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
no, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Our phones were made to help us connect, and somehow they've made us less connected.
Which is ironic, don't you think?
Oh, I love this song so much.
Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Welcome back. In your morning medical news, a potential game changer in HIV prevention. Gilead Sciences reports remarkable results for a new drug. In a clinical trial, only 2 out of over 2,100 participants who received a twice-yearly injection contracted HIV. This makes the new treatment 89% more effective than the current daily pill Truvada. Gilead plans to seek approval in multiple countries by the end of the year, potentially revolutionizing HIV prevention. Parents, your screen time might be affecting your child's language skills. A new study reveals a surprising link between parental device use and kids' vocabulary development. Researchers surveyed parents of toddlers and preschoolers, finding that when adults spent more time on screens, so did their kids. This increased screen time correlated with lower grammar and vocabulary skills in kids. The takeaway, researchers say, face-to-face interactions are crucial. Experts suggest putting down the devices when your kids are with you to boost their language development through real-world conversations. September is National Sickle Cell Awareness Month. It is the most common inherited blood disorder in the U.S. and mainly affects African Americans. Now there's new hope. Stephanie Stahl introduces us to the first patient to receive the therapy outside of the research setting.
And Jalen Hurts on my Super Bowl jersey.
18-year-old Austin Lewis is an Eagles fan who's never been able to play ball because he has sickle cell disease that causes excruciating pain.
All types of pain, like sharp, numbing, like aching pain.
Depending on how bad the pain is, we up it with the morphine. And
Jennifer Lewis says her son's entire life has been ruled by the genetic disease that causes normal donut-shaped blood cells to become sickle shapes, causing them to pile up, preventing oxygen delivery around the body.
It's hard. It breaks my heart. I feel like I'm helpless. There's nothing I can do.
But now there is. Austin is the first patient at Children's Hospital outside a clinical trial to get a newly FDA-approved gene therapy.
This is one of the biggest breakthroughs in the care of sickle cell disease.
Dr. Tim Olson with CHOP has been on the cutting edge of the research.
It's groundbreaking.
The therapy starts with Austin's stem cells being collected here. Then the DNA will be manipulated in a lab to normalize the blood.
And that normal hemoglobin prevents the sickling complications. In effect, is curative and can prevent all of these devastating disease complications from occurring.
Austin will have to undergo chemotherapy before he gets the transplant of his edited stem cells.
We've been waiting, my husband and I, the family, we've been waiting since he was just a baby.
Pain-free, I hope. And I could travel the world, do anything really.
For Austin, who's taking online college courses for now, a life beyond sickle cell is a dream come true.
Sickle cell disease affects about 100,000 Americans, according to the NIH. The Thunder Ride is roaring with generosity once again. This local fundraiser just handed over a $12,000 check to Mayo Clinic Health System, aimed at easing the financial burden for families battling type 1 diabetes. Now in its 22nd year, the event, organized by Rod's Rides on Power Sports, continues to make a big impact. As the general manager puts it, every participant understands they're not just along for the ride, they're driving change for diabetes awareness and support.
Collectively, we all understand why we're there. Yes, it's a motorcycle ride or a classic car convertible, but we're all there actually for the families affected by type 1 diabetes. That's really why we're there, and we just get to have some fun doing it along the way.
This is the second check donated by the Thunder Ride to support families affected by diabetes. The checks combined for a total of more than $50,000. Ultra Federal Credit Union hosted its 7th annual Raise Your Glass fundraiser at the Pettibone Resort. That event raises money to benefit Great Rivers United Way. The goal this year is $17,000. Live music, auctions, raffles, and free samples of food and drink were available.
So Ultra has been a partner of Great Rivers United Way for over 20 years. And so we've just been a really great partner with them. The Raise Your Glass event, we've started doing that 7 years ago as part of our employee campaign. Is a way to bring in even more dollars beyond employees and try to raise some money from the community as well.
Local beer and wine were served at the venue as a way to support local businesses while raising money. The time now is 6:37. Let's check back in with Art to tell us what to expect on our Friday morning commute.
All right, there we go again, holding on to the warm, and that's going to stick with us as we go through the next several days. Warm conditions holding on. Mostly cloudy skies are going to be in your forecast for this afternoon. Then we're going to carry over into tonight, getting in some rainfall. It's about a 40% chance of rainfall. Most of that's going to be kind of sliding over the Mississippi River, and eventually it'll start to track a little bit to the east, and we'll get some of that as well. So we'll turn it into about a 30% chance going into Saturday morning. That being said, let's take a gander here what's going on. This is the remnant moisture of Francine. Now that's pushing up a lot of cloud cover into our area all the way up to the north. And eventually as we go into Saturday and Sunday, some of that humidity is going to start to pick up, and that's when we're going to get some of that little bit of rainfall coming up from the south, and then eventually it gets out of the way. So let's take a gander what I've got going on for you. All the way into the noon hour, we're going to increase the clouds from partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. We'll get into there. You'll see all those clouds start to billow up all the way up to Eau Claire. Then we're going to be going right into the day, possibly about 86 degrees for our high. Saturday rolls in the midnight hour. We're looking at least a little bit of cloud cover still holding on. Then eventually we'll pick up the rainfall in the morning going into sunrise, and that carries over with a little bit of rainfall moving into Saturday as you roll right into the 9 o'clock hour.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, Kyson is turning 8 years old today. He loves playing football, and he loves basketball as well, and he likes to sing.
Happy birthday to him, and happy birthday, Peyton. She's also turning 8. She loves doing gymnastics and being around the family pets. When she grows up, she wants to be a canine officer.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, so if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com. You'll want to look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab. Coming up, from pantry to plate, celebrating National Hunger Action Month with Wafer Food Pantry. We'll be joined by the executive director. She'll share their mission and how you can help next on Foodie Friday.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Eric Hovde insulted Wisconsin seniors.
Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
What a jerk. He attacked those who are overweight.
Fine, you want to do that? Your health care is going to cost more.
How insulting is that? He called farmers lazy.
Look at the old physical toil. Now you're largely driving around a tractor.
This guy doesn't have a clue. Eric Hovde has insulted just about everyone.
What's wrong with this guy?
Thousands of our heroes face the difficult choice between keeping their heat and power on or facing homelessness. 21,000 Wisconsin veterans are living below the poverty line. Wisconsin loses 3 veterans to suicide every week. Together, our mission is to provide all struggling Wisconsin veterans with a critical survival safety net. You can make a real difference by providing a donation to the Wisconsin Heat and Housing for Heroes initiative.
This election is about 2 very different visions for our nation. One focused on the future, and the other focused on the past. When the middle class is strong, America is strong. Lowering the cost of living will be a defining goal of my presidency. I'll lower the cost of insulin and prescription drugs for everyone, and I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gouging on food. More than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut. We will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class. Together, we will build an economy where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed. Now is the time to chart a new way forward.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Welcome to Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique, your new go-to for all things gourmet and kitchen chic. From artisanal cookware to unique gourmet ingredients, we've got everything to inspire your inner chef. Discover our exclusive collection of kitchen gadgets, quality knives, and delicious culinary delights. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a home cooking enthusiast, Hazel and Lola's is here to elevate your kitchen game. Hazel and Lola's, located inside Wesco and Sparta. Stop in today and tell them Peyton sent you.
This is my grandma Kim. She has a lot to say about Eric Hovde.
Mr. Fancy, California banker, said he'd absolutely cut Social Security and raise the retirement age.
Hovde suggested that most seniors shouldn't vote.
If you're in a nursing home, you only have 5-6 month life expectancy. Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
In Wisconsin, we have a word for guys like him.
DSCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Well, happy Friday to you. Taking a look here today, warm conditions, cloudy and dry. We get into tonight with a 40% chance of rainfall, and that chance of showers will continue all the way into Saturday, and we'll see about a 30% chance for them going into Saturday. In fact, we'll see mild conditions, a little bit cooler going into Saturday, about the low 80s, holding on to warm conditions going into eventually as we go into Sunday. Take a gander here. There's dry conditions now working back into the Gulf of Mexico. Above that, though, getting into Memphis, Tennessee, portions of Arkansas as well. And then back into areas in the Midwest, we're picking up some moisture now. This is a water vapor imagery showing the moisture in the atmosphere currently, and then you're going to be seeing that eventually pop into our picture here as we go right into our forecast, getting some of that cloud cover associated with it. Then eventually we'll go into the overnight hours. You see more clouds coming in. We are mostly cloudy skies to cloudy conditions going into the overnight hours. We'll see by Saturday, you're looking at least cloudy skies. Rainfall starts to pick up. We're looking at that southern moisture coming in, and of course most of it's going to stream over in the heavier side, getting into at least a light to moderate rainfall, maybe some showers continuing to work for them, but we'll see some of that spread across over into La Crosse eventually by the 5 o'clock hour in the PM. So we're going to see some overnight rainfall first, and we'll see some light showers with that. Then we get into the evening hours for Saturday, and you're going to be seeing some light rainfall in the form of light showers getting out of the way. Then it trails over to the east, and up and out it goes. Slowly but surely, we're picking up some of that rainfall. As you can see, not much happening right now as you go into it. As we go right into the morning, you're looking at about 1 a.m. You got some showers by Decorah, picking up at least some shower activity coming into about the 1 o'clock hour going into La Crosse, and then up to Eau Claire as well. Then it starts to track a little bit more to the east gradually, putting in some rainfall by the 1 o'clock hour from Saturday going into Sunday. Then we spread it all out through Sunday, picking up some of that rainfall again, and you're seeing we finish out possibly with this maybe 2/10 of an inch or so, and maybe Eau Claire up to 3/10 of an inch, and that's how it all plays out. So we'll go into hundreds, I should say. We're also looking at, as we go into the highs for Friday, today 83 to about 86 degrees, and then we'll see eventually maybe 87 for Boscobel. We'll take the zones out, going to it. Everybody's dry, going through the forecast area here as you go into the south zone and then back into the central zone. You're seeing a lot of La Crosse holding on to 86 degrees, and then Eau Claire looking at least about going into about 84, 85 degrees for you for the day. All right, that being said, Saturday's highs 77 to 81 degrees, and maybe 82 as you get further down to the south for us. We're holding on to, again, 86 degrees today, 81 tomorrow, 86 again back on Sunday, 20% chance of rainfall, and warming it up again through midweek. Back to you.
Today is Foodie Friday on News 8 Now. This morning, we wanted to do things differently this week, spotlighting an organization that does so much when it comes to keeping our community fed. We are joined this morning by Executive Director of the Wayfair Food Pantry, Erin Waldhart. Good morning, Erin. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Nice to see you. So just start by telling us, what should people know about Wayfair Food Pantry and how to access the services?
Sure. We are the largest food pantry in West Central Wisconsin. We've been serving for more than 40 years. We are a partner agency of Feeding America. Our food bank is located in Rochester, Channel 1 Regional Food Bank. As far as accessing our services, really it's quite simple to come in and get food. The first visit takes a while.
Okay.
Not a while, but a little bit longer than the next visits. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of information on our website, particularly the frequently asked questions tab. There's also a video that shows people what it would be like to go through the process.
Oh, great. So that's kind of, if people, are maybe needing your services for the first time, point them to the website for the first step, would you say?
Yes.
Okay, great.
All right, so it's September is National Hunger Action Month. What does that mean, and why is it important to you folks here?
Sure, it's a national campaign that calls awareness to hunger in the United States, and also it's important because it calls our communities to action to end hunger.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. Very important cause. As we all know, going to the grocery store, restaurant, things are so expensive these days. So what kind of an impact have these rising prices had on the food bank here locally?
Sure. Well, it's twofold. First, it impacts the people that are needing our services. We're seeing an increased need. People that haven't been needing the food pantry for the last 4, 8, or even 20 years, which is pretty important to note.
Yeah.
Also, how it affects us as far as bottom line is when you see those increased prices in the grocery store, it affects us too.
Right.
And since need is outpacing donations, we're really hurting in that regard.
So I have a question. You're saying ending hunger. So do you have an outlook on that as far as something that can be completed soon, or something that completed in a decade, or?
Well, I think it comes from our federal and state level. Okay. It would be important for people to contact local leaders or state leaders, for that matter, to support programs that fund, like Wayfair Food Pantry, and support those to make sure that there's enough product and food to supply for the needs that are apparent.
So how do our viewers get involved, and how can they support you?
Well, there's a lot of ways to get involved. I already talked about contacting politicians. It would, come in and volunteer. There's a lot to do. Many hands make the work light, and there's a lot of work to do.
Like what?
Sorting donations, stocking shelves, helping people as they are coming in to do their shopping.
Okay.
Come in and take a tour. Our next one is Tuesday, September 24th at 9 a.m. So come in and see what it's like behind the scenes. do a food drive, donate money or food, just talk about hunger.
Yeah, okay, and I know you guys are very active on social media, so look up Wayfair Food Pantry to get involved and find out more about your services, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here this morning, Erin.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Ashley knows that some of our most important traditions and memories start around the dining table. From cozy breakfast nooks to formal dining areas, we have versatile options that fit any space. With styles ranging from mid-century modern to farmhouse or traditional, starting at just $499.99. Only at Ashley.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Gas, groceries, school supplies, everything costs more. Eggs are almost twice as much as they were 4 years ago. Biden, Harris, and the Democrats keep telling us things are better. They aren't better. And Tammy Baldwin is making it worse, raising taxes, running up debt, voting for spending that's driving inflation. 25 years in Washington, and she's done nothing. It's time for a change.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
To everyone out there who loves Culver's,
the feeling is mutual. Everything's made fresh.
Everything. Everything.
It's our pleasure.
This is me and my happy place.
I wouldn't trade our Culver's for any other restaurant.
Culver's. Yay! We love our guests.
Love.
Love.
As much as our guests love us.
This is me and my happy place.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Tammy Baldwin on transparency.
I don't think there should be two sets of rules, one for the wealthy and one for the rest of us.
12 years later, Baldwin pushed for conflict of interest regulations, but exempted herself. And Baldwin won't disclose any shared assets she has with her partner, despite the potential for conflict of interest. Tell Tammy Baldwin, we deserve the truth. Wisconsin Principles is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
no, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Looking for a better night's sleep? Ashley Sleep offers mattresses for every level of comfort, from soft, cloud-like comfort to firm next-level support. We have affordable mattress options for everybody. Find your perfect match today, only at Ashley. Shop more deals in store and online.
Welcome back. It's 6:52. Time for your morning news now. La Crosse is digging deep into its emergency funds to tackle park safety and cleanup. The Common Council greenlighting $270,000 from the city's contingency fund for two initiatives. A unanimous vote approved $75,000 to clear a staggering 44 tons of garbage from that homeless marsh encampment. The council then split 9-3 on a $195,000 measure for increased security at Cameron and Burns Parks. This extends patrols through December and adds weekday officers. About 33,000 Boeing workers are now on strike after they overwhelmingly voted down a proposed contract overnight. The strike affects workers at facilities in multiple states. The rejected contract listed a 25% raise spread out over 4 years. Boeing says that is its largest ever general wage increase, but many workers say it's not enough.
We have members that are still living in their cars at maxed out pay because they cannot afford to live in this state and work at this company.
Analysts say the Boeing strike is unlikely to impact travel, but it will likely impact the economy because it'll cause a delay in deliveries of new jets to customers. Former President Trump set to campaign in Las Vegas today, and Vice President Kamala Harris will focus on Pennsylvania with a rally in that battleground state. Yesterday, Trump said he will not meet Harris again for another debate after Tuesday's face-off in Philadelphia. Harris said she and Trump owe it to voters to debate again. UWL's Prairie Springs Science Center is entering phase 2 of its development, focusing on the aging Cowley Hall. Plans there include demolishing the old structure and building a modern addition that would feature state-of-the-art classrooms and research labs. The Prairie Springs Science Center serves as the primary hub for students in the College of Science and Health. School officials say the improvements are highly anticipated by both students and staff.
There were some safety issues, there was just space issues, and it was holding us back to do the kinds of research that we're finally able to do in this space.
Still unknown when phase 2 of the building will begin. Officials are still waiting on funding approval from the legislature. If you need to get around Eau Claire tomorrow, you can leave your car at home. The city's transit system is offering free bus rides all day. All 17 bus routes will be free from 8 to 5 during the Fall Festival. If you're new to public transit, you can stop by Lake and South Barstow Streets between 10 and 4 for a crash course on riding the bus. Officials say it's the perfect chance to try out Eau Claire's public transit. And get ready for a weekend packed with fall fun across the area. Bring out the whole family to the Toma Neighborhood Block Party today and tomorrow. Get cheesy at the Mac and Cheese Fest. Check out the Kid and Adult Farmer Olympics events and party to Carlos Danger live. Gavin DeGraw's concert is tomorrow with guest Caleb Hearn. Jam out when the show starts at 7:30 and tickets are still available. Celebrate the coming of autumn at the Eau Claire Fall Festival tomorrow. Test your aim at the Charity Dunk Tank. Check out the Upcycle Fashion Show and jam out to the Woodland Spring.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies through the morning hours. Then we get into the afternoon. We're going to warm you up a bit as well. Look at Eau Claire going from the 61-degree mark to 80 degrees by the noon hour. La Crosse will do similar, but maybe a degree warmer. 65 degrees once you get into the 8 a.m. hour. 81 for the afternoon with mostly cloudy skies on the way. Your highs today, we're looking at least 80s to the low to middle 80s. In fact, we'll go into again, temperatures cooling for tomorrow with rainfall, shower activity coming in, about a 40% chance tonight, a 30% chance tomorrow, 20% chance on Sunday.
All right, Art, thank you. The newest members of the penguin colony at Shedd Aquarium have now taken their first swim, and that marking an important milestone in the chicks' development. They hatched on June 18th and June 20th. The 2 rockhopper penguin chicks recently shed their soft, fluffy feathers for sleek, waterproof ones, allowing them to maneuver in the water for the first time. The chicks practice swimming in smaller habitats behind the scenes under the watchful eye of their caretakers. Now they weigh close to 5 pounds. They're so cute, aren't they?
Yeah.
I like their fuzzy fur. Thank you for starting your morning with us. We will see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your Friday.